guys, welcome back. Happy New Year. I hope you're doing really great today. Today I wanted to touch on a subject that I don't think has really been spoken much about on YouTube before, so I don't really know how this is going to go. But basically, I want to talk about my dreams. And when I dream, I never dream, or hardly ever dream, that I have a disability or that I'm disabled or that I use my wheelchair. So we're going to discuss our dreams today, and in this video I'm going to be discussing some things that some of you may not believe in or may not think is right, and some of the things that I'm going to discuss in this video I don't know how I feel about them either. But everyone's got an opinion, and please feel free to leave your ideas and thoughts down below. But I've actually done a little bit of research on these dreams and why don't we dream we're disabled. And so I'm going to throw out some ideas. So here goes. So as some of you know, I suffered a spinal cord injury when I was 9. And since then, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I have dreamt that I have a disability or that I have been in my wheelchair. Like in my dreams, I'm just doing regular stuff, or I just have the regular weird dreams that everybody has. But in those dreams, I'm never in my wheelchair. I'm always walking around doing what I would perceive that I would do. And why is that? I would like to know, is it to do with the age that you suffer the disability? Is it to do with the level or degree of sleep you're in? Is it to do with your disability? What kind of dreams do you have? So I'm going to throw out some of the research I've done and some of the forums that I've read and the comments and things. So the first one that I have read is one about people who are more spiritualists. And these spiritualists believe that we have an earthly body that becomes sick or can become disabled and eventually dies, and that's it. And we also have an ethereal body. I don't really know how to say it, but I'll leave it here somewhere. Ethereal body, which is more of like a spiritualist body. And when the actual body dies, this spiritualist body goes on and lives on. And it never becomes sick, never becomes disabled or tired. And sometimes when we're asleep, people believe that they do astral travel, which I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, it's a very complex issue, and it's quite an interesting one, I think, and I'm open to all sorts of ideas and suggestions, and I wouldn't say this is right and this is wrong. I think it's quite fascinating. And I also read that some people have even reported of body hopping during this astral travel. Another idea why I don't dream that I'm disabled, or why other people who've become disabled at some point in their life may not dream that they're disabled, is because they haven't accepted their disability. Which I don't know if that's right, because this happened to me when I was 9. I went through a massively long period of denial and unacceptance, and it wasn't until early adulthood that I sort of accepted my disability and who I am. But still to this day, I'm walking around strutting my stuff. So I don't know if that's got something to do with it. On another forum that I read, this particular person always dreams that they're disabled and always dreams that they have a disability, and they put out there that was it because of the lack of sleep that they get, and they have very light sleep, they have more of a REM sleep, and they experience high levels of pain. So are they subconsciously always aware, and is that why they always dream that they are disabled? Another one that I read was this particular person was deaf, and they were born deaf, so they were always deaf in their dreams. But people in their real life who couldn't sign could all of a sudden sign and communicate with them, which I think is quite interesting and quite nice in a way as well, that these people are signing in their dreams. I think that if you have been born with a disability, it would be very hard to dream the other way around because you don't know what it's like. So if someone's never heard before, I guess they can imagine, but it would be very hard to just all of a sudden just be like every dream that they have, just to be able to hear. And again, another one that I read, this person had Asperger's, and they always dreamed in the way that they live their life with Asperger's, because they said they could never imagine what it's like to not have that particular disability. Interestingly, when I speak to people with spinal cord injuries like myself, everybody was the same. They hardly ever dream that they're disabled or they have a disability, and they're walking around and they're doing all sorts of things. You know, some people will wake up and they'd be like, oh damn, I can't, oh, it's only a dream. And some people are never in a wheelchair. Some people report that they get to a hill and it's too much hard work, so they get out and push themselves up in their dream and then get back in. And other people have dreams where like they can't find their aids but they're still able to walk. A reoccurring dream that I have, I have something in my eye. A reoccurring dream that I have is disabled toilets. I have a lot of anxiety around toilets. I don't really like public toilets very much, and it gives me lots of, I'm getting anxious now thinking about it. So in my dream I'm always looking for disabled toilets. When I'm looking for these disabled toilets, I think I am in my wheelchair. I'm just sort of like floating around. And when I try and find these toilets, they're always in an absolute state, like so disgusting, like really, really bad. In England, we would say they're minging. There's a word for you, minging, like really minging, which is really disgusting. Yeah, so that's mainly the dreams I have when I'm disabled. And I think that probably comes from my anxiety in the real world as well around these toilets, which is why they're in my head. I've had these for quite a few years. And another thing I dream about is YouTubing and the videos that I make, and because I'm constantly thinking about videos that I'm going to be making, or what kind of videos can I talk about with disabilities, I tend to dream about them quite a lot. So obviously I've got my disability in those dreams as well, but on the whole, hardly ever dream I'm disabled. Now, I also did a little bit of research to try and do a little bit of medical research. Now, I'm not the, most up there with IQs when it comes to medical terms and things like that, but I did find a little bit of research that was done on, and I'll see if I can leave it linked below so you can read it as well and interpret it the way you want to, where they did take a collective group of paraplegics and study their dreams and why they always tend to dream that they don't have paraplegia. I have it written down here actually, so I'll read it out. Researchers dismiss the psychoanalytical idea that the dreams are an expression of subconscious wish, but suggest that walking in dreams may have adaptive function, helping consolidate the relevant neurological mapping. So, yeah, interesting one. But yeah, I mean, if you have seen my video on what does being paralysed feel like, which I'll leave here, you'll have some idea of what it feels like to be paralysed. If that test works for you, I have since discovered that there are some people out there who can't take the test because they can still wiggle their finger. But go check out the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But in that video, I show you a way of leaving your fingers so that you can't physically lift one of your fingers up, which kind of gives you an idea of what paraplegia feels like. And it's a weird one because it's there, you know how to do it. As I say in the video, I know I could feel like I could just get up and run, a 10k run, but it's just not happening, if that makes sense. Like, I know I can almost feel it and I can sense it, but it just doesn't want to do it. So maybe it's because when I'm asleep, I know how to do it, so that's why I do it. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video here, stop waffling on. It's an interesting one. I'd really love to hear about your dreams, no matter how weird they are, or your thoughts and ideas, because there's so many, theories and things out there. So please feel free to leave them down below. Please respect everybody else's theories and ideas. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and I will be reading them all. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and it was kind of an interesting but different topic to talk about, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!